Okay, so I had this vision last Thursday, and today the Lord wants me to share it as we've been talking all throughout the week and the weekend. And He wanted me to put the information out no matter how it makes me look, what people might think of me because of this vision, because I think it has a profound effect on all of us as His children, and He can use the information, if I use myself as an example, and we can all learn from it. We can all go forward, hopefully, and become better individuals and more serious about what we're doing when it comes to either establishing a relationship and walking with Him, or fixing our relationship with Him, or strengthening our relationship with Him, or for those that are doing good and doing right, being able to use somebody else's testimony to strengthen their ministry. So anyway, this vision was about. I took it as it was me personally, and it was a direct message to me from the Lord in the state of my walk with Him. So okay, this vision was I was at my house and it looked like it was my block. You know how you can have visions or dreams, and it's familiar, but it isn't the exact same layout. But so it was like on my block where I live, and
you had 1 hour and 0 minutes of remaining drive time.
I knew it was my block because somewhat of the layout of it, and the people that I was encountering were my neighbors, these gentlemen that are on my block. You know, we talk from time to time about various political or religious things, or just being cordial and having, conversation, whatever. So in this vision, like across the street from me, there's really not nobody across the street from me that I would say is a holy person. There was this holy man on the block that was in this vision, right? He was the man on the block, the one guy that was serious about his walk with Christ, and he would encounter people, but he would not join in some of the festivities of sin and debauchery. So he stood out. There's that guy that's on your work, the guy that's serious, the persecuted guy or whatever, on your job or in your life or in the church even, the guy that taking the matters of Christ serious. And not that he wants to be a jerk. He just he want to be serious, about the assignment. Hold on one moment. I don't know what this is. It's a series of cars. Alright. Okay, so basically, alright, so that guy was on the block, and my neighbors was on the block, and they would get together and they'd be out there drinking, and they live in what you would call a normal lifestyle or secular living, a hedonistic lifestyle. They drink or engage in vulgarities, and men get together and they just let whatever fly out of their mouth, and then they usually persecute the person that isn't like them. So everybody was outside, congregating in front of the houses as partakers or whatever, and I was out there, and then I see people, another group of guys that's not from around there or across the street at this Christian guy's house. This Christian guy house really isn't there in real life. He's not there. So, but everybody knew that this guy was, it was like in a dream. You could just have a feeling like everybody respected that gentleman. They might not have liked everything he had to stand for, but he carried a weight of respect about him, the way he carried himself, conducted himself. So when he would show up, cussing would cease and things would cease. So anyway, it was kind of strange because that person really don't exist. I guess I will be that guy on the block. Somewhat. I ain't gonna say I'm that guy. So anyway. So that can be dug into what God is really trying to say with all that. But anyway, so this guy had a bunch of friends come over one evening, and they're all at his house, and I'm close to his house. I'm standing by his house, and I'm like, hey, whatever this dude's name is, Joe, or whatever your name is, and what's up, man? What you guys got going on over here? I'm like a middle guy. I'm in between the two areas, right? I'm in between the far righteous guy and between the worldly guy, So it was almost like they were coming from an event, and his friends came over, and they all came out of the house, and they just all of a sudden just start ministering to all the gentlemen on the block, you can see the weight of what was being said to the people, each individual according to whatever they were in their life, and they were just talking to these gentlemen, not holding nothing back, not candy coating nothing, telling them about the Lord, and they got to be serious about the Lord and this, and the time is short, and you got to be serious about this. And everybody, like they just dispersed and found them a guy to minister to. It was like a evangelism going on this block, and I'm sitting off to the side I'm like, let me get out of your way, because I want this to happen. I want these gentlemen to receive the gospel fully, and I need the Spirit of the Lord's ministers, these angelic, mighty men of God, to show up and talk to these guys, and because I care about these other guys, they headed in the wrong direction. They're not taking it serious, So as they were ministering, one of the guys, like one of the head guys, the guy that would live there, kind of catty cornered, turned and said to me, now Terrell, I got a message for you too. And it wasn't like a congratulatory message, hey, come minister with us. It was a message of chastisement, saying, we shouldn't even be here to minister to you too. You're supposed to you're the man, you're the godly man on the block. You're the man of God that's supposed to be standing out and minister, and God using to, not a guy that blends in. You're not fully doing what they're doing, but you're not all the way doing what God has called you to do. So you have some dirt on your hands, and you got some things in your heart that got to be dealt with too. So as we minister to these gentlemen, we got to minister to you too. Now, you shouldn't even be in that position to be receiving ministry. Not you say you're perfect, but so, and it convicted me, because I was like, I knew it. I was just saying, you're right. I can't keep just, you can't keep just saying you're right. And that was another thing that the guys were saying when they were ministering to him. They were saying, yeah, I know, or it's this and that, or but they were just doing it, like the people that were being ministered, they were just doing it to shut them up and get them out of their face so they can go back to doing whatever they want to do. But I was saying, yeah, you're right. And that was like from a Christian perspective, of the Christians saying, yeah, you're right. All these constant messages God has given us to get on track with him, and to get our stuff together, and we saying it, and then we're also doing what the secular people are saying. We're saying, yeah, you're right, and just to get God to be quiet, and we're going back. We might, contemplate it more on a more serious note than other secular people are, but we also going right back into doing what we were doing prior to the message as time goes on, and we're not fully changing in our heart and walking in that different direction. So it's like we're doing the same thing. So God wanted me to share that, with you. Like, I knew it was coming though. I knew I was not on board fully like I should have been on board. You understand what I'm saying to you? So you might, be used by God, but I think he's talking to the church right now. I think he's telling us he's coming back soon, and we're not taking it serious. We're not taking our assignment serious. We're not taking our walk with him serious, and we're not being able to be fully used by God, and made me have to take an evaluation of my heart and myself. And it's not saying that it's too late for you. But we gotta humble ourselves, and we gotta get back into all way right standing with the Lord, and so we can minister these to our neighbors. And our neighbors and our people around us is scary because it's so easy to laugh and joke, and I know how you can be so distant from the God. You have no idea the severity and the seriousness of how serious it is your salvation is, and the consequences for neglecting it or laughing now or pushing it aside, playing the waiting game with God, or mocking God or mocking his servants and not taking it serious, thinking that playing the devil game, you always got time. Man, you just have no idea how severe and serious the consequences, and how serious God is about sin, and how important it is to get your sins paid for by Jesus Christ, or given, covered. And people have no idea, man. They're not taking that matter so serious. It's only going to be to the time where they're standing before him, and it's going to be too late, Not to say you're going to be perfect, but you have to get on board with Christ and be serious about that walk with them, I know you're going to be different. I know you got to stand out, You're not going to be fitting in the popular crowds, walking along those lines with your friends and stuff, and that you're doing now. And you're going to lose some friends, and because they're not going to want to take it as serious like you're taking it. And you're going to have to take that risk, man, because your eternity depends on it. That's how serious it is, and people are not taking it serious, and we're not doing the work we should be doing to help them. And I don't know how I can stress enough how people never been to hell, man. They never experienced the consequences. It's a dangerous thing to fall in the hands of a living God. Once you see God and you be like, oh my God, he's real, and he's gonna hold me accountable for everything I've ever done, every unmeasuring weight, every time I've stolen. I love my people, my friends, and I love the unsaved as well as the saved folks. And I see it, man. I see it in their lives. Like, I don't want that for them. I don't want them to go in that direction. You see the decisions that they making, and they saying out of their mouth one thing about God, and they got God, and they even convince themselves in their heart that they're good people or holy. You have no idea until you're not measuring the weight of yourself against the true measuring, the true measure, to the true line, the true rule, using a true ruler to measure your actions. You measure yourself by the actions of another person, and comparing yourself to other people on how bad they are. But no, you're going to be measured against Jesus Christ and how righteous he is. And you're going to look so dirty if you are standing, in front of him with the full weight of every bad decision you ever made and sinful act you ever committed, whether it be adulteries or lusts, and your heart is just going to be so impure. You got to take it serious. You got to realize God is not playing, man. It's not a joking matter. It's not going to be a time for fun. And he's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. When it comes to tossing people on hell, not because he wants to, it's just because you ain't going to have the covering. You're not going to have that covering. And the only thing left for someone without the covering is the consequences. And it's imperative you take the matter serious. So this is for all of us. We all better look in that mirror and get this matter under control, and don't wait. Today is the day. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You don't have a billion years. Sure, you can be saved later if you live through disasters and turmoils, but you ain't gonna want to be around in that time and miss that rapture. It's gonna be serious, man. It's gonna be serious. So take God serious. Take him at his word. Try him. Ask him. Talk to him. Well, whatever you do, don't play. He ain't playing. He's sending out his angels, and they're giving us direct messages, letting us know this is how God's viewpoint on sin is serious. It's not a game to him. Like I always say when I'm ministering to people, like, God ain't playing. The devil ain't playing. Only people playing is us. Because it's so easy to play, straddle the fence, or maybe later, playing games or laugh. It's easy to do that right now. It's so easy. The only way you're going to know that God is serious is if you get in his word and get close to him. But if you never do that, you ain't going to see his heart on the matter. You ain't going to understand how serious he is concerned with sin, or the seriousness of him not wanting to see us perish. The weight of his holiness. You haven't experienced it. You gotta be able to know this. That's why he's raising up his children to tell you. And if you got a serious person that's walking with Christ seriously in their lives, I beseech you, don't mock them and mess with them. Please get with that person and ask them the tough questions. I'm sure God has equipped them, and they'll lead you in the right direction. So I love you guys, and hopefully my experiences help you.